Hello. There's lots to cover today, so I want to get started. I just want to make sure that the volume is good here. I want to talk about something that a particular woman has been asking me for the longest time. Probably since last summer, and I just haven't done it. So I decided I would do it today. She's been asking me about menopause. So, what I want to ask you is, how are you feeling? How is your energy? How are you able to interact with others? Maybe your family, maybe your coworkers, maybe just people in general, maybe at the grocery store, or if you're running an errand. How are all of those facets of your life fitting into how you feel, how your energy levels are? So, one of the things that menopause is to me is a very interesting broad scope of events that happen from maybe the ages of 38 to 40 all the way to 50, like late 50s, let's say. It's pretty broad. And there is the perimenopause, then there's menopause, and then there's post-menopause, I think it's called. It's a lot. We already, as a woman, have so many things to face: life itself, the challenges of everything that fluctuates in our life, our health, our well-being, our emotional state. All of those things are so many little facets in our lives and in our daily routines. And so menopause is just one of those things that is an extra added layer into what our life is and what the details of everyday living for a woman are and is. So I am not a doctor and I'm not a nurse by far. This is just for informational and educational purposes only. These are things that I have had to manage, face, and move through in my own life. And now, the age I am today, I am past those markers of the peri and the mena and the post menopausal stages. However, they were not an easy path. The challenges and the path that I faced were of some severe health concerns. And I've mentioned this on my other channel, but I want to mention it here today. Just a slight variety of little details of the life that I lived from the age of 50 um, for a few years was very difficult. And the markers were difficult already because I was never really told when perimenopause began. I just kind of started noticing little signs and maybe details of what was happening with my menstrual cycle. But regardless, once I hit 50, things changed. And one of the things I really want to stress to you as a woman who is 50 or over, I really want to stress, and even if you're younger, if you're watching this and you're well under 50 years old, please hear me when I say this. Stress on your body, on your emotions, on your menstrual cycle is such a crucial detail that is harmful. It I feel like it really attacks the female body in ways that we do not need, we don't want to face, we don't want to manage and have to deal with and have the challenges of in our life. So I tell you this because stress was one of the major components of the health challenge that I faced, which brought me to my life almost ending, and I had 5 days left to live. The menstrual cycle that I had faced was that of over 1 year, and it wasn't stopping. It wasn't ceasing. It was it was very heavy. It was very emotionally draining and depleting and difficult to face. It was one of the biggest challenges of my life. And it was nothing in particular, nothing special going on in my life that would have caused this constant. If you know the story about the woman that touched the fringes of the outer garment of Jesus Christ, she had a cycle for 12 years without let up, without ceasing. She had expended herself, her energy to specialists and doctors and different kinds of care. And so my health challenge was a fraction of hers, but as I was moving through it, it was just such a reminder of that account in the Word of God. And so, what I want to share with you today is really, if you are facing those challenges at this time, I would really love to have a conversation with you, put a comment in the video notes, the show notes, because it's a very difficult challenge to face and you're not alone. Wonderful team of healthcare professionals that I had were the ones who were utilized by our Creator to get me to the point where I am today. Here I am 5 years later, and I'm able to come on to a video with you today. So stress is a very harmful device, I would call it, or a system that attacks the female bodies and everyone in general, but especially the woman. I feel like we must really look at ourselves, become aware of what's going on with our bodies, and really, if you are facing this challenge of a very long menstrual cycle or a very heavy menstrual cycle, I really implore you to try some of the next steps that I'm going to talk about here. So, depending on what your age frame is, if you're in peri or if you're in menopause, different different markers is from what I've read and what the research I've done. There are different markers to look at, and so you really want to talk to a healthcare professional, your doctor, your whoever your healthcare professional is, and maybe you do something naturally. I don't know. Some women like to do naturopathic uh, wellness visits, I guess I would call them. I'm not sure what they're called, but regardless, there is so much to look at. And so you want to look at all the different details that you're facing with what's going on a daily basis. How are your menstrual cycles looking? Are they heavy? Are they mm, like changing in some way? Getting less or getting more frequent? Things like that. And those are all things you must talk with your healthcare professional with because those are things that I don't know. And everything that I went through, the markers were really difficult to decide on because there were changes starting to appear even at the early age of 37 to 38. I was noticing a little bit of change, a little bit of a difference in the heaviness, although I always had a 28-day, it was always 28-day. Even when I had my children, the the cycle was very on point, very on point. I never missed. I never skipped ahead. I never had the days fluctuating as far as the amounts. It was always on point. And so you want to look at those types of things for yourself. What are you feeling? What are you experiencing as far as the flow, the heaviness, the days, the time frame in the month? And look at your phases. Really start to begin paying more attention. And so maybe if you are younger, then great. Start to look at that. If you start to notice any kind of changes or any kind of challenges or difficulties that you're starting to face or experience, keep a note. Keep a note. This is where I kept my notes. I kept my notes in my app, my health app. It was very helpful. I kept things on a daily and a weekly basis at that time in my life. And so some of the things that I want to mention about these timeframes, whether it's peri or menopause or postmenopause, you want to look at things such as your hormones. Really look at your hormones, because how you feel as a woman will determine how your relationships are, how you are able to function at work, how you are able to function on a daily basis. I wish someone had told me this. I did not learn this until I was 47 years old when I began to be taught, when I began to be told, your hormones are doing this, your hormones are fluctuating, your hormones aren't right. Well, one, I didn't know how many hormones I even have. I had some work done, a specific kind of scan, like a body scan done, and there were so many different hormones that were out of normal range. And so I didn't even understand it all at that time. I still don't understand every single thing as far as what everything should be, like where each one should be as a normalcy for that particular hormone. So it's been a lesson, it's been a learning, it's been an educational time frame for me as far as the hormones. So you want to be able to have your estrogen checked, your progesterone, your testosterone, have things even like cortisol checked. All of these things can be done with your doctor, your healthcare professional. You will have to do some sort of a laboratory work or have that done so that you can see what are your markers, where are you in the stream of time frame of your life. Every single woman is at a different time frame. Every single woman is at a different marker in her life. And so I want to share that with you today because no one shared it with me. No one taught me, no one told me, no one pre-educated me, I would say. And so when I became to learn this, I was already at a time frame where I had already seen fluctuations and seen different markers. For example, the heaviness of the flow and how stress can bring in those fluctuations, let's say, at different times of the phase of your cycle, of different phases in the month. So all of those things, have your insulin checked, insulin resistance, anything like that you may be experiencing something out of the ordinary. Maybe you're experiencing some sort of a health issue. You're starting to face some sort of a health change in your body. I really want to encourage you to find the education in this video to teach you what you don't know today. to educate you on something that you've not heard of or that you've not thought of. There were even times that other things came in, for example, even the adrenal glands. And these are all hormone producing parts of the body. And so you want to get everything checked. You want to get everything looked at extensively as much as you can if you are facing some sort of a health challenge. Now, here's the nuance to that. If you're not facing a health challenge, wonderful, that's great. I'm very happy for you, because facing a health challenge is a whole challenge in itself. On top of living daily life already, on top of having a marriage, having children, being a grandmother, all of those things were different facets of my life, and different challenges arose by me trying to face just this one challenge of the stress and of the fact that so many things were happening all at once in my body and I didn't know. So one of the things I implore you to do is become aware. Become aware. Start to take a mental note, or maybe a note in your app, your health app some way. You can actually, in your health app, it'll track your days, like when you started, like all of your different phases in your cycle. You can actually track it. And so it's a beautiful thing to be able to do that, because it helps you in the future. It helps you to see, what is your body doing? Where is your body doing it? When is your body doing it? And you can look at the overall picture in your health app and see, are things going smoothly? Or, you know what? I am facing this bit of a challenge. I'm having a bit of a heavier cycle this month. I wonder what's happening. What's going on around this heavier cycle? And you can look at your app and have documentation of what's happening. I feel like it's very important. I feel like it's very integral part of the woman and the female body, the female systems, as far as the menstrual cycle. So moving on to the next part of my notes. Well, what I do want to say is that the uh, once you are in menopause, one of the markers would be that you have not had a period or a cycle for 12 months. So one whole year with no cycle, no no bleeding, no period. But again, if you are not sure, and this is again for educational purposes only, then you may want to talk to your doctor. You may want to talk to your healthcare provider, and definitely ask questions. Definitely mention different things if you're seeing some sort of a fluctuation, or if you're seeing some sort of maybe discrepancies in different time frames of the month, in different things that are happening to your body specifically. The time frame for menopause and then going into the ending of menopause, postmenopause, would be anywhere from 50 to 52-ish. But again, I say that with caution, because a lot of women face things differently. A lot of women may go through things even sooner, and or maybe even later. And I will mention one person that I used to work with years and years ago. She was 57, I think, and well, I know she was 57 at the time. She was just now beginning menopause. And so she was having the hot flashes, she was having the night sweats, she was having all the different fluctuations in her temperature in her body, and even in her own cycles, right? The way things were cycling through her actual physical body. And so the sweating and the night sweats and all that is a those are other markers to look at. And again, this is all very, very different for each woman. We're all different in our own way. And so for different things like this, the night sweats and the hot flashes, I know a lot of friends and a lot of women that have that. They face that challenge. I see, because I see this. I see where we are somewhere that maybe the temperature is even slightly on the chillier side. And I see some women doing this. They have their little special fans. They have beautiful decorated fans of all sorts. And I see this, and it's like that's telling me that they're probably having a flood or a rush of that heat coming over their face, their bodies, and I just feel for them. My heart goes out to them. So, moving on from that part of the video, I want to move into something that's it has been such a beautiful part of the journey of my life that I have been on since, I would say, probably, it's kind of hard to know exactly when I started this journey, because I want to say maybe it was probably 2017 is when I kind of started to see, how can I take care of this? How can I manage this? And unknowingly to myself, I had, unfortunately, different people surrounding me that were contributing to more stress than I was ever imagining in my life. And so those individuals and the stress that they brought onto my life was so intense, and I didn't know, and I didn't expect, and I didn't ask for. I was just unknowingly living life daily and just experiencing different odd situations, different odd things in my life that were those things that you kind of question. You're like, what's happening here? Why is this person like this to me? Why is this person doing that to me? So those are something that I also want to encourage you to to start measuring in your life. If you ever have anything like that, start to look at, and I don't want to go off on another topic because I want to save this for another video, but these are, I think I'll refrain. I don't want to bring it into this video because it's a whole other topic, and I really want to save it for another time. So one of the things that I really want to mention for now is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, here's the definition. It is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions while recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. So what does this mean for you? This is looking at how you communicate with others, how you interact with others, how you feel when you communicate and interact with others, how do others feel when they interact and communicate with you. Okay, so emotional intelligence is one of the things that I have had to learn that has really helped me to be able to reduce my own stress, to look at how I interact with others and how I carry on a relationship with another person. So I want you to become aware, how are you interacting with your boss, your supervisor, your higher ups in your job, whether you're in the corporate world, whether you are an educator, you're a nurse, you're some sort of a professional, maybe you're a mom boss, you're a girl boss in some way. Congratulations, I love that for you. Become aware of different things that are maybe bringing a triggering thought or emotion on yourself. And then how do you react to that? How do you respond to that? How do you carry on the relationship, the conversation, and does it become triggering to you? How are your emotions? How are you feeling internally? Start to become aware. There's also another app too that I use on my phone that I can't think of the name of it at this moment. But anyway, it helps with your mood. It helps mark your mood. Like, where are you feeling really good? Are you feeling happy? Are you kind of at a neutral state right now? Those are kinds of things you can look at for yourself. Okay, so becoming self-aware, and one of the things that part of the reason I created the Calm Within and designed the Calm Within, which you will see across I'm across Facebook and YouTube, and have even another platform at this time for the Calm Within, is something that I had to do for myself. The way I began to really understand myself and really bring love to my body and to my emotions was I learned how to soothe myself. How did I do that? How can you do that? I can share what I did. I would love to share what I did, and then I would love to see what you do to soothe yourself, to calm yourself when there's a situation or a moment that is even fluctuating in time in the moment, um, with the different individuals in your life, your bosses, your supervisors, your, you know, any co-workers or other people that you're working with, or even family or your friends. Family is one that is really a component of the woman's life, I feel, that can bring so much joy and happiness and bring so much calm. But then there can also be possibly a slight conflict, different times of the year, different events and activities going on with the family during the year. And so how do you use your emotional intelligence as a woman? Your emotional intelligence is so beautiful and so precious to you in your life. How do you manage your emotional intelligence? How do you use it in your life? How do you balance? How do you bring serenity, balance, and peace and tranquility to your emotional intelligence? So this is one of the things that I did. I'll name a couple of different things that I did for myself. And actually there were three. One of them is a very deep internal feeling, a very deep coming home to you, coming back to your feelings, your body, your heart rate, your breath. How are you feeling in the moment? How are you interacting in a moment where there can be difficulty, where there can be a possible, let's say it in a way of disagreement, maybe even a conflict in the future? How do you manage that moment? How do you manage something that could potentially get stronger or potentially get out of hand? So the first one was just coming really back deeply into myself, noticing my heart rate, noticing my breath, noticing how I'm sitting. Am I slouched over? Am I slunched over? Am I too relaxed? Or was I sitting up straight? I had to check myself constantly, and I still do it, but I was doing it more intentionally, more often when I was around certain individuals. And I think I still do it more. I think that's the biggest marker, is who are you around at the moment, how much you check. Moment after moment, you're checking yourself. When you're not around anyone who, I want to say, wakes up that moment of, uh-oh, that alertness in your body, that's kind of the marker for me, is who am I around at the moment. And I think I can share one thing that happened to me just this morning. Uh, got a call, got a text from someone that, long story short, there's something that another friend wants to do, and wants to get a little group of people together, a group of ladies together. And I'm happy to join, I'm happy to go as long as I'm not working. And the type of woman that I am is that I like details directly from the person. So if you want to invite me to your home and you have a swimming pool, you want me to come over and swim, I want to hear you say, Rebecca, here's the day, here's the time, here's my address. You know, I really would love for you to join me and my family for a day of swimming. And any other details, bring a dish or, bring some, lemonade or what have you. That's the type of woman I am. I don't want to hear details from someone else, third party. Oh, we're going to do this maybe tomorrow at 2, or it might be Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. I just thought, no, I'm not doing this. And I don't want to get into it too much because then I don't want to take it away from the other topic I want to do on another video. But that was what happened this morning, and I thought this is too confusing to me, and I don't like it because I'm very direct, and I like the person who's going to do the hosting to reach out to me. That's the kind of woman I am, and so that's when I was really checking myself up. I could feel myself checking how I was breathing, checking my core. How is my core feeling? Am I slouched over, or am I sitting up straight as I'm talking to this person? And I'm a little more alert. So those are some markers that you can look at for yourself. Another thing that I did for soothing myself, and this was paramount for me because there was so much going on during the time I was facing divorce. Unfortunately, after a very long marriage, I had to face divorce, which was a whole other, you know, facet of my life. And it was difficult because I still was amongst coworkers and amongst peers and colleagues and supervisors and administrators. And so it was a difficult time for me. But one of the things that I did was my first, um, coming back and just really feeling into myself. How am I feeling? How am I breathing? How am I sitting? Really noting those details of myself. But another thing that I did was I listened to music. I listened to some really soft, calming music at my desk on my laptop while I worked, while I was grading papers, or while I was lesson planning for my next set of students. That's what I did because I really needed to have that music just really bring that calm down even so much deeper. And it wasn't music like lyrics, it was calming music, it was soothing music. It was just a very light, soft music that I could listen to at work. And there's many channels, you can look them up. Pick the one that you want. Some of them are aquatic. There were days I liked the aquatic ones, and then there were days that I just liked something like a sunny morning with birds and birds chirping and the trees flowing in the wind. Those are some things that I did to help me calm my nervous system down. That was soothing for me. It was calming for me. It was grounding for me. Excuse me. So again, becoming self-aware, really feeling into your body, what's happening, what's going on. And here's the nuance to that. I feel like as a woman, you're so busy. You're busy. You have a schedule. You have a life. You have a job. You have work. You have a family. Maybe you have a husband. Maybe you have one or two children or more children. You have a schedule. You have a home to keep up. You have cleaning and laundry and cooking and shopping and preparing and organizing. The list goes on for women. And unless you start to delegate those tasks out to others to give you some help and some relief, it's all a lot of the times placed onto you because you're the woman, because you're the wife, because you're the mom, because you're the woman of the house, because you're the female. And so that is why I want to share these things with you. I want to teach you what no one taught me, what I've had to flounder around researching for years, trying to figure out, how do I manage my emotions? How do I feel so awful. And yet I still have to wake up and go to work the next morning. I still have to live my life. I still have to come home and do laundry and cook a meal. And oh wait, I have to go to the grocery store to buy the ingredients to cook the meal. Like life still goes on and life still happens. So how do I manage those emotions? Those ever fluctuating emotions, those ever fluctuating feelings in a woman. And you know what? You can do it. You can conquer that fluctuating feeling, the ebbs and the flows of your life. You can come to a knowledge of how you're feeling, a knowledge and educated moment of how you're able to really manage your feelings, your emotions, and really calming down your nervous system. I want to share one thing about the time frame when I was becoming from being married for over 3 decades to a woman who's no longer married, a woman who's facing divorce, a woman who is in so much pain, who feels so wounded and so traumatized just because of different various details leading up to the divorce and thereafter. One of the things the women I worked with in the very same space we worked with daily, worked in daily, was that they never even knew. They never even knew I was facing divorce. They never even knew that I felt so broken inside, so traumatized, so wounded, so hurt, so crushed. I felt crushed inside. They never knew. They never knew what I was facing until the very end of the school year. I was able to share some of the things that I had faced, some of the things that I had gone through, some of the things I didn't mention until the following year. I didn't even mention them the first year. I kept it all inside. I kept myself at bay. I kept everything as calm as I could, as non-fluctuating as I could. And so that's how I worked on my emotional intelligence, because I didn't want to spread that feeling of being hurt, the feelings of tears coming to you at a moment where people are asking you for this document or this lesson plan, and the tears, you just want to feel those tears start streaming down, and you're trying to hold them back. You're trying to hold back that flood of tears coming upon you. Those are things that I faced, and so I want to teach you so that you can find calm in yourself. That is the whole purpose of me beginning this channel of the Calm Within. That calm comes within. It comes from within you as a woman. I want to teach you. I want to educate you. If you will accept and if you will listen and you will hear the things that I have to share with you. So the last thing I want to share is your emotional resilience. This pairs so beautifully with your emotional intelligence. So the emotional resilience is the physiological ability to adapt, recover, and bounce back from a stressful situation, from trauma, or even adversity. Now, many of you might have known, or you might know the definition of emotional resilience, but I think it's such a beautiful detail that goes well with the emotional intelligence, that you are able to bounce back. And you can do this. You can do hard things. Things are difficult. Things are challenging. Things that you face, things that you do, they become difficult. They become challenging. And you can do them. You can face them. You can start to soothe things in your life and start to calm things down in your life. You can do it. And so I invite you to really look at yourself, really become self aware, and notice what the stressors are in your life. Notice who the stressors are in your life. Notice what are the situations that could possibly be traumatizing for you. And notice what is the adversity that you're facing. One of the things that I faced with adversity has always been my background, um, just living in survival and scarcity, living in not having enough, living in feeling that this is the way life is. Life is made of stress. Life is made of not enough. Life is made of survival. Life is made of this is just how you are. You can't get better because this is who you are. Well, I don't accept that today. We're in 2026 today, and I just don't accept that feeling anymore. I don't view my life as that. I don't view life as surviving. I don't view life as traumatizing. I don't view life as it has to be stressful. That's not how I look at my life. That's not how I view everything that I see, everything that I face, everything that I move through in my life. It's such a difference today. Life to me is beautiful. It's joyful. It's happiness. It's peaceful. It's calm. I look around just in my space now. My ZZ plant here, my monstera here, and then I have another little here right on my desk. That she's a little tiny bit wilted because it is kind of a hotter day today and has been all week except for yesterday where I live. But I see life, I view life very differently. I view life as abundant. I view life as flowing like a river, flowing so beautifully, flowing so refreshingly. And so that's why I want to share this educational information for you so that you can get a glimpse of how does it feel to be calm? How does it feel to be tranquil and peaceful, harmonious with your plants around you, with life around you, even with the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of different details going on in your life. You can get through this. You can move forward. You can move ahead. You can find a life where you can bring your emotional intelligence together along with your emotional resilience. You can be able to manage your emotions, soothe yourself, calm yourself, and really become resilient. Bounce back from those challenges and difficulties that you face each day or in a particular time frame. I notice one thing about my life is that it comes in phases. It comes in, like I say, ebbs and flows. Things are going really good and really smooth, and then you dip. What you do in that dip is important. It's crucial. It's integral. The integral part of becoming the person that you're going to become. And so I wanted to share all of those things with you, and there's so much more I want to share. In the coming videos, I will share more. And so thank you for listening. Keep moving forward with your emotional intelligence and your resilience. Keep bouncing back. You know times are hard. You know times are difficult, challenging, but you can do this. You've got this. I know you can. You've done it before. You can do it again. You can wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, I've got this. I can do this. I can move ahead. And I'll share more tips and little nuances that you can carry in your life each day to make yourself feel the lessening of the stresses in your life. I want to share those with you in another video. Also, if you're facing moments of, am I in menopause? Am I in perimenopause? Am I in postmenopause? Where am I? What are the markers? I've shared some of them with you here today. and I've shared some of the things that you can do to start to get a little bit of a grip on what you're facing. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that you found some, even if there was one word that I mentioned or one thing that I said that might help you in the future, I hope that that was helpful for you in a way that you can say, I actually did learn something today, because I am today's years old ladies, girls, and I am still learning. I am researching and learning every single day. And so the things that I didn't get to know or get taught when I was in my 40s, I want to teach you. I want to help you and guide you so that you know, and that so that you can see that you're not the only one. Because I really, one of the details that I want to mention is that I felt behind. I felt like, why does everyone else around me know this except for me? That's how I felt. But it wasn't that. Everyone learns at their own pace, and everyone learns at the right time. We always arrived on something at the right time for us. So you will arrive at this video, to this video, right at the right time in your life, right when you need it, right when you need to hear that one word that I might say in this video that will be right on time. I will leave you for now, and until next time, I hope that you know you never know where your calm is going to come from. Thanks for watching.